Good morning and welcome to a day in the life at a therapeutic boarding school. I was exposed to literally every kind of trauma you can imagine there.
I know that I was operating from a place of good intent, but I also have to be accountable for what happened.
All we wanted to do at the time was to help him. And now we are all facing together the challenge of finding out this was the worst thing that ever happened to him.
I had such a lack of identity leaving this place. I started to struggle in life pretty early on. I felt like I was carrying some weight that I didn't understand. As I roll into elementary school, I knew that I was gay. My relationship with my parents growing up was complicated. I just did not want anything to do with them. I didn't want a good relationship with them. I didn't want to tell them about my life. To them, they're like, all of a sudden this kid's saying he's depressed, he's anxious, he's hurting himself. They were so confused.
I would say his personality was a study in contrasts. He could be incredibly happy, joyful, full of laughter, and a few moments later he could be in tears.
I told my mom that I wanted to go on the state, and when they found out he's 2 grades above me, my mom didn't feel comfortable with it.
We were just trying to keep him safe and weren't sure what he was doing. And because of that reaction, he literally destroyed his bedroom. I mean, top to bottom.
I hadn't self-harmed in a while before this moment, but I felt so rejected that I did. And I'm also having this essentially psychotic break. I feel so desperate. I'm screaming and was recording on my phone and posting videos and pictures of me with blood all over my face.
That was the moment that we both agreed that something had to be done.
In states across the U.S., programs like wilderness therapy and therapeutic boarding schools are part of what is known as the troubled teen industry. These programs market themselves to parents as a way to help their kids deal with a range of behavioral and mental health issues.
I think the parents are desperate. They don't know how to handle the issues that they're having, and they don't know what to do. But we thought at the time it was the best place for him to be safe.
While in the hospital recovering from his self-harm incident, 2 men woke up 15-year-old Daniel in the early hours of the morning.
They're like, you can do this the easy way, or you can do this the hard way. These guys had been hired by my parents and got legally kidnapped.
Daniel spent the next 11 weeks at Second Nature Blue Ridge Wilderness Therapy in the mountains of Georgia.
We had such limited access to food. We're not allowed to know the time, and we're not allowed to know where we were going, so you had no sense of anything. And I'm going through this program watching my friends try to take their lives. I witnessed 2 very traumatic, horrific events there that, I will never let go of.
3 others who also attended Blue Ridge shared similar experiences with NBC News, but were not interviewed on camera for this piece. After that, at the advice of an industry educational consultant, Daniel's parents sent him to the Monarch School in Northwest Montana, where he'd spend the next 15 months.
Monarch had a form of public humiliation called a seat. On a seat, you were not allowed to be spoken to, and you could not speak, and then you would go out and work for 8 to 10 hours a day, literally just manual labor. Well, the worst experience I had there was being sexually assaulted. The staff were absolutely responsible for letting this happen. A couple other letters. Wrote you guys a pretty long one. It's so funny when I read these letters. I wanted you guys to think that I was perfect. I wanted you guys to think that I was the best student at school. Because I thought that I would convince you guys to pull me early.
Right. Daniel says his communications with his parents were heavily monitored by Monarch, a common thread throughout the industry.
We know at the time that we did what we thought was the best for him. So reorienting that now to the current reality, which is that no matter how well it seemed that he was doing, in reality it had a terrible impact on him.
Inconsistent rules across states, including licensing, employee certification requirements, and how the programs identify, makes government oversight of the industry a challenge. The federal government doesn't regulate the programs at all.
They do not do any diagnosing. Family therapist attempted to falsify my record.
Recently, a growing number of people who attended trouble-teen programs have taken to TikTok and other social media platforms to share their experiences.
We are looking to help protect youth rights and reform programs that are unregulated and unlicensed.
What Daniel's doing now with his advocacy makes me incredibly proud.
He has educated us for the last several years about this industry. I totally support him and would tell any parent right now considering doing it, you need to really think twice about this.
Mom, your hair looks fantastic.
Aw, you are too kind, honey.
I'm really proud of them. I forgive their misunderstanding. Just to be realistic, I think there will always be a part of me that is very hurt and feels very lonely and feels very abandoned. But I can't live in my past. Who would I be if I didn't give them an opportunity to change how I've changed and how my perspective on all of this has changed, you know?
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.